Hi guys, happy Thursday. I decided to jump on live today and slow down some makeup techniques. We're gonna talk all things mature skin and all my makeup tips for you today. So as you're jumping on, say hi. Hello. My name is Lauren and I am 43 years old. I used to be a teacher for our local school district for many years, and then I decided I was done. So now I use my teaching background to teach you guys easy makeup tips. So welcome, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so we're gonna get started and I'm going to slow down the process just a little bit. Hello, I'm gonna slow down the process of applying makeup for maturing skin. I know sometimes my videos can be a little fast, so that's why I love using the live to kind of walk you through things that maybe you're struggling with or different techniques that I've talked about that then we can kind of go into more detail. Hello, yes, blush tips. We'll talk about that today. We're gonna talk about everything when it comes to just applying your makeup if you have maturing skin. So like I said, I'm 43 years old. My clientele ranges though from my daughter's age 15 all the way to 80. So I work on lots of different faces, and so I've got a lot of different tips and different things that we can kind of help you make your application so much easier. Hello from India. Erase 10 years, right? I wish. No, I can't do that. One thing about makeup, and I think that we kind of forget about this. Hello from all over the world. This is so fun. We forget about makeup because we think, like, a lot of people will claim like makeup erases your wrinkles or, you know, different things like that. And honestly, nothing is going to do that, okay? So let's just be really honest. The things that we have, we can kind of blur or we can kind of soften, but we can't exactly get rid of, unfortunately. I wish I could. All right, you guys, hello from all over the world. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you all so much, and I love that you're here with me. Contour tips and how to make everyday eyeshadow stay would be fab. We might not get into eyeshadow. I do have a live on eyeshadow that I just did last, or 2 weeks ago maybe, so go watch that one, but I will give you a couple tips for sure with contour and maybe some for eyeshadow if we have time. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Concealer help. It sounds like that's where we're really needing it. So let's get started. I'm gonna break down, and I want you to save this video, okay? So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and save this video. This is gonna be a great one to come back to if you're brand new to getting my favorite makeup, which we're gonna go into and talk about in a minute, or if you're just wanting some really good tips, save this, okay? Come back to it. All right, we're gonna start. The first thing I wanna talk about is with mature skin, a lot of times we either get more oily or we get more dry as we age. My case, I'm a lot more dry. We also our skin gets a lot more dull. So skincare is gonna be your best friend, okay? So if you are skipping the skincare before your makeup, I promise you, like, that's gonna be a game changer. Fix your skincare and your makeup's gonna be so much better. So let me just show you really quick. I'm actually trying out some new products and I love them. So of course I'm gonna share them with you. Hi Candace. Okay, so these are from Typology, and when I do post this, I promise I will put down all the products I used. But these are from Typology, they're serums. So one thing I love with maturing skin and skincare is using serums. If you're not using serums, try them. They are really great. They're gonna penetrate into the skin and they just kind of leave your skin looking really radiant depending on what you're using. So I'm using, this is the vitamin C serum that they have, and then the one I'm really obsessed with right now is, this is their radiance serum. So I showed you the wrong one. Vitamin C, and this is their radiance serum. If you're looking for like, kind of making your face look more bright, but also giving some moisture to the face, this one is really great, this Radiant Serum. So I've already put them on my face. I already have my moisturizer on. I also love Colleen Rothschild. That is another one that I love, and I use all of her products as well. But I did want to try out some new skincare and show you guys. One thing with my skincare, I know I'm going to get into everything. Oh yeah, the number 7 serum is awesome. One thing that I do like to say is when I talk about a skincare, this is just kind of like a back part. When I talk about skincare, I've used it for 3 months at least before I'm going to talk to you about this, okay? So these I can't 100% vouch for because I've used these for probably 3 weeks now and I'm loving them. But I can't tell you long-term yet. So I do like to be really open. I think skincare is one of those things you can't just get on and just talk about unless you've used the product for a while. So skincare, Colleen Rothschild is always my go-to. And this week I'll be posting a video on my kind of like my morning skincare so you guys can kind of see what I use and share those links with you. Okay, skincare is number 1. Next, I personally like to use an SPF or and then a primer. So I did find a new primer that has SPF in it. I've never used it before. I thought, why not? Let's use it. This is the Milani SPF BFF. So we're gonna go ahead and prime the skin. Now you'll hear people say you don't need a primer. That is totally up to you. For me, I like a primer. It's gonna grip onto the skin. It's gonna help your makeup grip onto the skin. It's kind of like your layer between your skincare and your makeup. And so if you have a problem with your makeup not staying on all day or slip and sliding, you might wanna look into a primer. Now a primer is gonna be based on your individual skin. So if you're oily, I definitely have other suggestions than I do if you are dry. So this one I would say, I don't know yet. I haven't used it enough to say if it's for oily or dry skin, but we're just gonna try it. I'll let you know what I think. But I'm just gonna go ahead and rub that in and put a little on my neck. Now, I would use a different, because this has SPF in it, I would use a different SPF on my neck, just FYI. I like to always just say that. But I thought we'd try something new. So we're gonna start by priming your face. If you're oily, you wanna pick a primer that's more tacky, so it just kind of grips everything to the skin a little bit better. I love the e.l.f. Poreless Primer is a great one, or Milk has a great one as well. And then I'm just gonna kind of tap that into the skin. We don't want it to be like really wet when I go in with makeup, okay? All right. Now you can go straight into your makeup, but what I like to do, so another thing with mature skin, and I want you to tell me at the end of this video what your favorite tip is, because I'm gonna be giving a lot, but one of the things that I find as I age especially, or women I've worked with, we get a lot of texture. And with texture or pores, we tend to get a little fixated on it, right? I do too. We're all just like, it's changing, our skin's changing. So what I like to do is darken up the skin just a little bit before I go in with my main makeup. So I'm actually been using, if you like using like a self tanner, this one by Kosas, it's the Glow IV. I actually really like it. I use this one or the Tarte Glow Drops, Drunk Elephant, and this is gonna add just a little kind of darkness to the skin, a little tan. So if you like that look, there's so many good products for that. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on. And this is not super dark. This one is, I think, their lightest one. And I actually really like it because it doesn't like make my skin look overly dark. It's just giving a little bit of color. So if you want a little extra color, these are some tips you can do, especially as we're going into the spring and we all feel still a little pale. If you wanna warm up your skin, this is just a great way to do that, okay? And like I said, I will list all of these when I do post the video. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of glow on because as we age, we do go a little dull. Oh, thank you. Good, good, good. I'm glad you like that. You go a little dull, right? Our skin looks a little dull. And so I like to bring back a little bit of glow. Why don't I use mineral powder? So I really recommend not using a powder or a liquid as you get older. There's a lot of reasons to that, but like to break it down really easily and simply, with cream, which I'm gonna show you in a minute, cream is meant to absorb into the skin. It's supposed to act like a second layer of skin. So if you notice that you have a lot of fine lines, or when we're moving our face and we talk and we're animated, maybe your makeup's creasing in those lines, liquid and powder both tend to sit on the top layer of the skin. So they look great on camera. Like it looks really good on camera, but if you're in person, you may notice, or you may have tried this yourself, especially with liquid, it's gonna dehydrate the skin. So halfway through the day, you might have patchiness throughout the day. It's gonna sit in your fine lines and kind of bring out everything, enhance it. And powder is the same way. Powder can be very chalky and dusty. And so when you put it on more mature skin, it's going to accentuate things we don't want to. So creams actually move with your skin. They're skin-like, and that's where I'm gonna show you today. So that's kind of my really quick reasoning why I don't use mineral powders. I just don't find they work well for mature skin. Now, if it's something you love, I always say stay with it. Like if you love something, you feel beautiful in it, that's what really matters. These are just my tips. These are just things that I have learned along the way, okay? All right, so we're gonna get started, okay? And I'm gonna be using, this is my makeup. And one thing I love about this makeup, and this is a quick little PSA, if you're interested in trying this makeup, which inside here is all the makeup I need for my whole face, if you want to try that, all you have to do is comment match when I post this. If you post it, if you say match now, I won't see it. But what I love about this, if you've ever been that girl that's like, okay, I'm gonna do my makeup. Where is my eyeshadow? And you can't find it. Where is my blush? And you have all these products, they're all over the place. Now you have everything in one compact, and so it's not like you have to go search for everything. It really does save so much time. So I love this. I love how big this is. It fits, it's like the size of my hand, you can see. And it fits in my purse. I travel all the time, so I have one in my car. We do have other sizes, so we have bigger ones. So like when I travel far away, like if I go on an airplane or something like that and I'm gonna be gone for a week, this is gonna hold everything. It's a double layer. This one doesn't have anything in it, or I'd open and show you. Like it might have something in it. Let's see, it has some eyeshadows in there. But we have different sizes based on your lifestyle, okay? So if you are interested, all you have to do is comment match when I do post this. But we're gonna get started. So with cream makeup, it's very natural and skin-like, and it really depends on the brush that you use. So if you use a more dense brush, something like this, you can see the bristles are closer together, you're gonna get a more full coverage look. So if that's something you love, then you're gonna wanna pick something that has a more dense kind of bristle. If you want more of a natural look, using something that's a little bit more fluffy, where the bristles are a little bit farther apart, you're gonna get a more natural look, okay? So really that's what's going to determine not how much you put on your face, because this isn't a layering system. It's more about the brushes that you use, okay? And I can help you with that. That's what I do when I do recommend and do color matches for people. I recommend all of those things for just your skin and what your needs are, okay? So we're gonna get started today, and I'm gonna apply it a little different than I have in the past. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this brush. This is the blush and bronzer brush, and I'm gonna go in right here to my bronzer. The reason being is I put on those glow drops to add a little bit glowiness to the skin, but now I'm gonna try to even, you can see like my redness here, I'm gonna try to even that out. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of bronzer. Bronzer is great for that. And I'm gonna dip my brush into the bronzer, and then I'm going to take it onto my hand, because I'm gonna take some of that product off. I'd rather you go in with less product than more, because if you go in straight with a lot of product, we've all had that happen, you have to take it off, and we don't wanna do that. So you can always add more, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna even out my skin with this bronzer before I do anything else, okay? And you can take the extra product off your hand, so you're not wasting product, you're actually still using it, you're just not putting it straight onto the face, okay? And there's not really like a method to how much you put on, it's just more of like a personal preference. So I'm just gonna put that along the cheeks where I get a little bit of discoloration and redness. Now, if you have rosacea, we have a really good product called Aspen. Aspen is a contour, which seems weird, but it has a green base to it, and so it really counterbalances rosacea really well. And you can use the same method with Aspen to get a really nice smooth look before you go in with any of your foundation colors. So it's kind of cool. Now, all of these creams will work. If you're using liquid, they will work with your liquid. So if you get texture in your chin, this is a great trick. So I don't know if you can see, but right now I'm already giving color, and I'm giving like a little bit of depth to the skin before I even start. Pigmentation, I would definitely recommend a color corrector for that. And I can't recommend just a broad one because I need to see it. I need to see your pigmentation. It's everything on the face has a different color to it. And so you can send me pictures, and I can definitely recommend a color corrector from Seint. That's the line that I like to recommend the most from. We have a Demi corrector, which I'll show you for under eyes. It's very skin-like, it's very easy under the eyes, and it doesn't crease. So it's just a really different formula than I've ever tried, and it will work on pigmentation. Okay, so I started with that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of work on filling in the areas of my face instead of just going layer, layer, layer. So if you're used to liquid, you probably put on liquid, then you put on your bronzer, and then you put on your contour, and you're just layer, layer, layer. Well, what that happens, especially as we get more mature, is you're going to have a lot of texture. And that's one thing we're trying not to have, right? We want more of a natural look where we're still getting coverage, we still look like ourselves, but our skin looks more glowy and youthful. So that's the whole point. So I'm going to grab this brush, and you don't have to apply it like this. This is just a really good way I like to teach beginners, especially with cream makeup. And if you're using a contour stick or you're using something else, hi Catherine, you can use the same method. I just like to work on placement. Placement is really big. Once you get placement down, you can take a brush like I was just using and go and do your makeup. But this is gonna be a little slower. I normally can do my makeup in 3 minutes, but obviously it's like I'm talking. So it's like when you try to pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time, it's gonna take longer. It's the same thing, right? This is taking a little bit longer, but this method really is really fast. So I'm gonna start with contour. I'm gonna take this brush. This is the Smudge brush from Seint. And I want you to quickly see like contour. I know a lot of you had questions about contour and bronzer. So contour is ashy. Do you see the difference here? This is my bronzer. It's warm. Bronzer, just like I put it on the skin, is gonna warm up my skin. It's gonna give me depth to the skin. Contour is actually going to provide a shadow. It's ashy. It's meant to lift. It's meant to sculpt. And you don't have to put this all over your face. Like if you don't feel like you have a large forehead, don't use it there. If you don't feel like you need to contour your nose, don't use it there. Really is all about you finding and looking at your face and what you love about your face, or maybe what you want to recede or lift in the face. That's what contour is for. So I'm going to start with my contour, and I'm going to put some on my brush. And with contour, the biggest thing is you want to find your cheekbone. So a lot of us put that contour too low, that fish face. I can't even make it with my face, but basically this is where my contour line used to be. But if you feel that bone, that prominent part of your bone, and you kind of roll underneath, that's gonna be too low. If you roll on top, it's too high. We wanna leave this nice and light. But right here on this part of the prominent part of your bone is where you're gonna contour. For most people, it lines up at the edge of this ear. You can almost take your finger and feel it right there. And then I'm not gonna go any farther than the edge of my eye. So I'm just gonna take my brush, and I'm just gonna make a small line. Now, I'm not making that line. I'm gonna put a little bit more on just for you to see it better. I'm using a little bit lighter contour than I normally do, but I'm not going any farther than that, and I'm not drawing it down. I'm not drawing it straight. I almost like angled it up for a lift. Okay? You can see that's pretty high, right? A lot of people get it on and they're like, that's too high. I promise it's gonna blend out and you're gonna be like, oh, that looks great. So I'm gonna do the same on the other side. A little bit of swoosh up. I'm not coming down, not going straight across. If they're not even, it's okay too, because guess what? Nothing's even on your face. It's okay, and it'll blend out perfectly. Okay, so now we're gonna go onto our forehead. I like to use the arch of your brow as a really good baseline of where you want to apply your contour. Now, if you don't have an arch, because that does happen too, we lose that arch, you want to think like almost like right in like where the end of your pupil is. You want to come and make an imaginary line up, and that's where we want to place our contour. We don't want to go any lower or than that, because we don't want to hollow out our face more than it already is hollow. So it's just a small rainbow right next to my hairline. If you have a really, if you have like a larger forehead and you want to maybe camouflage that more, you can bring another line down. The farther down you bring your contour, the smaller your forehead will look, okay? And then I'm just gonna go under my jawline. So it's really important that when you're hitting your jawline, you're not on your face. If you're on your face, it's gonna look dirty, and we don't want it to look dirty. So we're gonna go right underneath that bone. And you can take your finger and you can really feel that bone. And that's exactly where you want to be. So you want to come from ear all the way to the other ear. So hopefully you can see that, okay? If you have a double chin, you can bring it down into a triangle, and it will also darken everything. This is my one compact makeup from Seint. So these are all cream-based products. Nothing I'm using is liquid or powder, okay? And I really encourage you, if you have not tried cream and you are struggling with finding makeup, to go the cream route, okay? Because I promise you, it is a game changer, for how your skin is going to look. Now, just to tell you this, I've used this makeup for 5 years. I don't know very many people that stick with their foundation for 5 years, and that to me is a testament of this makeup. I get a lot of products sent to me. I try a lot of products. I always go back to cream. It just looks so natural. Then I'm gonna come right here and put a little contour there. That's gonna make my lip look a little bit bigger. It is a game changer, Beth, I agree. And then I'm gonna come right onto my nose, okay? If you wanna contour your nose, you do not have to. These are all suggestions. Use your face as a roadmap. You're gonna put your face down. You can see those natural shadows right here. And I'm just gonna trace that. And I'm not gonna go all the way down my nose. I'm just gonna keep right almost like at the tip of the nose. The reason being, I wanna slim out that area, and then I wanna come over here and create more of a tip to my nose. Now, your nose might be different than mine, so definitely you wanna kind of take into You want to take into your accountability, like you want to think of your face shape, okay? I am going to bring it just a little bit in, right here in the center. And that's going to bring the nose in, okay? And then you can take what's ever left and bring it up to the eyebrows. Now this is a step that scares a lot of people, so if you're scared by it, I do think try things. I think it's fun to try new things with makeup, but do try it. It's really fun. Amazing brush. This is the Smudge brush from Seint. It's actually an eyeshadow brush, but I love it for teaching application, and I think it makes it so you don't put too much makeup on your face. Creams are really pigmented, so these tins, by the way, they look really small, but they're gonna last you a long time. So when you use a bottle of liquid foundation, it has a lot of water on it. So you might realize that it maybe dehydrates your skin and you go through it pretty fast. These don't have any water in them. So when you put them on your skin, you don't need much at all. And a little is gonna go a long way. These will last you, like my contour and bronzer should last 6 to 12 months. My highlights and my concealer, which are like a foundation and concealer, they're gonna last 4 to 6 months, depending on how much you use. Do I deliver to the UK? Yes, we are going to be there. We are not there yet. We're launching in the UK this year. So UK, Australia, and Mexico, we will be coming for you, which is really exciting. I'm so happy about that. Okay, we've got the contour on, and now I'm gonna go in with my main foundation. So that's the darker of my two colors, okay? And I'm just going to tap into that, and I'm going to just make little dots like this. And it's gonna look really funny. No, they'll last a year. They'll last a year. So if you don't wear makeup every day, you can keep them. I shouldn't tell you this, I probably kept them longer than a year. But really, you're supposed to only keep it for a year. Makeup does go bad. I'm just filling in under my eyes with my foundation. So this is my foundation shade, okay? And like I said, we're gonna look funny, and then it's gonna all blend together, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, okay? So I'm just putting that anywhere I need coverage. Now, if you don't need coverage, don't put it there. If yours dried out, it actually didn't dry out. You can put creams either with a hair dryer, or you can put them on an oven and you can remelt them. They don't dry out. Creams can be remelted back to get the consistency that you want again. So try it, it will work. But you also wanna make sure that you are storing them closed, and you also wanna keep them out of like a lot of humidity. You wanna keep them in a nice, not too cool, not too hot area. Okay, so this is my main foundation, okay? I might put a little right here on the side of my nose, like that. Now, you guys wanted to talk about under eyes and color correcting, so I'm just gonna quickly move into that. This is a spot brush, okay? I love this. The reason I love this, see how small that tip is? We're gonna use a color corrector for dark under eyes, okay? I don't have super dark under eyes right now, which surprises me because I haven't been sleeping really great. I've been traveling a lot. But you can see the darkness right here, so we're gonna focus on that. A color corrector, these are Demi. They also fit in my palette. I just didn't have it in this palette. But these are going to counterbalance whatever color is on the face. So I do free color matches, like I said, and if you send me a picture, I usually will recommend a Demi corrector for you based on what you're wanting to correct. So when I look at this area, especially, that's where I want to target first before I go into concealer. If you put concealer on the face, if you watch my videos, you put concealer on the face, light is going to bring everything forward. So wherever you put a light color, it's going to pop it forward. It's not going to correct anything. It's just going to brighten. And so a lot of times what happens is we put on this really bright color and it brings everything forward. We're like, oh my gosh, I can see texture, I can see fine lines, no color has been corrected. So that's why you want to go in with kind of a funky color. I know it seems weird, but it's going to correct first and then we brighten. So like I said, I have some blues in this area. So I'm going to use this kind of like light corally color. It's kind of like an orange color. You want to think opposite the color wheel, and I'm going to go right into that color. Do you see how it's kind of just going right in, and it's taking that discoloration away without hardly any product. So that's what I love about Demi, is you don't need much at all. So if you are noticing, especially under the eyes, it's getting crepey, this product is gonna be your best friend because you don't need much at all, and you're still gonna be able to color correct without making it look more crepey. So obviously that already brightened that area, but I'm just gonna kind of tap that in. And I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's so much brighter than just, look at the darkness here, just putting a tiny bit of color on. Okay, so I have tear troughs. The tear troughs bother me, honestly. I don't love them on me. So I am gonna go in with a little darker color. This one is 03. I'm gonna pop it out of my other palette. It's a darker orange color. And I'm gonna just trace that tear trough. So it really is about identifying things that bother you, because in all honesty, no one notices but you. Like when you look at people's skin, you don't notice it like other people, like you do yourself. So I'm just tapping that on. And for me, that tear trough is just one of those things. It kind of gets more brown and kind of like green as I go down. So that's why I'm just using a little bit darker of a color there. But if you can see, like, look how that's already brightening that eye compared to that one with hardly any product. That's what I love about this, is I'm not using much product at all. So just let me take like a quick, so you can just see the difference. You can see that dark discoloration, the tear trough, everything there. But like this is so much brightener. That's not a word. It's a brighter. Yes, I will post this. Last time it didn't let me post it, so let's hope I can this time. Anyways, okay. I haven't even put concealer on, only correcting. So now I'm gonna just quickly do the other eye just so you can see how that disappears. Same thing, I'm gonna go right in. That was even too much right there that I just did. Way too much. You don't need much at all. And I'm just gonna go right into the shadow. So even if you have like, see how I have discoloration on the eye, you can even use it there too. I'm actually just gonna spread that out just a little bit, right on that color. And then I'm gonna go in just a little bit darker on that tear trough with the 03. And it really depends on your under eyes, but I can help you with a corrector. You just mainly want to get right on that shadow. But see how that's already brightening? If you have darkness on the outer corner or age spots, you can also use a corrector for those. I get age spots right here. But yeah, there's nothing on my eyes yet that's a concealer. This is just Demi products. This will last you so long. Like you hardly need any product at all. So, okay, so once I've done that, then I'm gonna go in with my concealer, which is what I was telling you I was gonna do, but I wanted to show you correction first. And I'm going to use the same brush, still using the same brush. I'm just gonna kind of rub it on my hand. And I'm gonna go in. This is not super bright, okay? It's only about 1 to 2 shades lighter than my main foundation color. And I'm just putting that on the inner corner and the outer corner. So right here, and then from the outer corner of the eye up. And I'm putting it in the hollow of the face on purpose, because what that bright color is gonna do is it's going to plump. It's gonna make it look like I'm not hollowing there. And if you are getting a little older, that does happen. So that's a little trick you can use. And then I'm just gonna put right down the center of the face. I have texture here, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And I'm gonna come right here and here. Once again, using your face as a roadmap, okay? If you have texture, don't put super bright on texture. It's just gonna like bring it all forward. Okay, so this is like the main, this is what I'm working with, okay? And I forgot my setting spray, but this is when I would say spray your brush with setting spray, because what that's gonna do is it's going to hold your makeup, it's gonna blend easier, and you're just gonna get a nice blend. But I don't have that, so we're just gonna start. This is the detail brush. Can you use one brush for everything? You can. Normally I'll just use a detail brush, but I wanted to show you placement a little bit more with the lines and the dots and all the things today. So that's why I have other brushes. When you blend your makeup with cream, you don't want to swipe, you want to push. So kind of like, you know how a cat paws something, like you see him paw a couch? This is the kind of motion, like you are pushing it into the skin, because it is very skin-like. You want it to absorb into the skin. You don't want it to, if you swipe it, you're just gonna swipe it. It's gonna go away, and we don't wanna do that. So liquid, we swipe. Creams, we don't wanna swipe, okay? And I'm just pressing that into the skin. And when you apply your makeup, if it feels heavy, if it feels cakey, if it feels like patchy, it might be the wrong color. You might be applying too much. There's a lot of things that could be going on, because it should feel extremely lightweight when you're blending. And I know a lot of you guys ask how I blend, so I am showing you that today because I want you to see like just a slowed down version. of how I blend this makeup. So I'm just pressing. See, I'm just pressing it into the skin. And it's just giving me like, look how nice that looks on the skin. It's glowy. It looks, sorry, I keep knocking down my bottles. It looks youthful, but it's not heavy at all, okay? And it's gonna move with my skin all day. So if I smile, it's not gonna look like I'm wearing makeup. Okay, I'm just pressing that in. And I'm leaving my eyes alone if you've noticed. I'm not touching them yet. We're gonna come back to them. Okay, so once I get to that middle of my forehead, I'm then gonna start working with the other side of the brush. I love Seint's brushes because they are double-ended, so I can turn it over and go straight in using that. I do recommend washing your brushes. I have a set, like a brush spray that I use in between my applications, and it will dry it really fast. So it's like you spray it, you clean it on a paper towel, and then it dries it. But that's not gonna deep clean your brush. So you do wanna deep clean brushes, no matter what makeup you use, you wanna deep clean your brushes at least twice a month. So Seint has a great brush soap. They also have a great brush spray that I like. But you can find all sorts of stuff. I also have stuff linked on my Amazon account too, if you wanna go that route. Okay, so I'm leaving the contour alone. But like, look how glowy and natural my skin looks. It looks so much more youthful because this is gonna give me a glow. It's not looking oily, okay? That's the difference. Creams, a lot of people think creams look oily. They don't. They look very skin-like on the face. Okay, now we're gonna go to contour. I'm gonna start at the bottom of my face. Now with contour, it's not meant to be creamy like your highlight colors. So it is meant to be a little more stiff, so you can swipe. You can see I'm pulling this down my neck because what I'm doing is I'm providing a shadow. So I get rid of that any double chin, that loose skin, and it gives me that nice sculpted jawline, okay? Gravity takes a toll, everything kind of goes down. That's gonna help bring it back. All right, then I'm just gonna take my brush, hold it like a pencil, and I'm gonna feather the contour. Now with contour, you wanna have a shadow, but you don't want a line. I don't want to see some, like, you don't want to see me in person and have lines anywhere. You just want it to look like a natural shadow. So you're not going to over blend it, but you are going to blend it enough that you still have that shadow. Okay. Like that, and then my lip. And you can come back in and press whatever you want to do to get the look you want. And then when I get to my contour here, you always want to blend from the outer part. Hi from Florida. I bet it's nice there. You want to blend from the outer part of the contour up to the hairline. And then you're also, like, I like to hold it like this sideways and then move it horizontal, if that makes sense. And it's going to give me a nice, see how I'm like lifted my, look at that. I already lifted just by a little line of product. That's just crazy to me that that can happen. And so I'm bringing it up to the temple and then lifting towards the face. Not swiping and not leaving like a line. It's still gonna look very natural, okay? And then when you get here, I'm gonna just bring that back. If you have blonde hair, pull your hair back. But if you have a receding hairline, this is gonna actually give you the look that you don't have a receding hairline. Hi from Norway. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Okay. All right. You don't want a line, okay? We don't want a line. I don't know if you've ever seen someone apply contour and you have like this big line. You don't want that, okay? So let's get really close so you can see. Just very skin-like and very natural. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, and I'm pulling my hair back just so you can see a little bit better, I am going to put a little more bronzer on. So I started with bronzer, I'm gonna still add more bronzer on because I like to have a little more depth to the skin. So I'm gonna go back in with this brush. You can still use the detail brush if you wanted to, and I'm gonna do the same thing where I put it on my hand, take off that excess product, and then I'm gonna bring bronzer. Now bronzer is basically where the sun naturally hits you. So if you were at the park, where would like the sun naturally hit you? It hits you across the cheeks, tip of the nose, and then it will hit, oh, that's a good question. It will hit on the forehead. Hold on, let me blend that. Okay, how do I choose a color for bronzer and contour? Okay, so contour, I look at your eyebrows, your hairline, the tone of your hair. that's how I'm gonna choose that for you. And then with bronzer, there's a couple different colors from Seint that they have that I choose, but I honestly like only 2 of them. So one is a little bit lighter than this one. This looks scary, but depending on your skin tone is how I choose the bronzer. If you are lighter, I would probably suggest a little bit lighter of a bronzer. If you are, you know, medium to dark, I would go with something like this, which is Bella Bronzer. So it really just kind of depends on your skin tone. And that's how I would pick that for you. Okay. Look at that. So pretty. I love it. All right. Then we're going to do a blush. Okay. Some of you had questions on blush placement. So blush placement is going to also really depend on your skin and like not your skin, the way you want your face to look, okay? So I still have fullness right here, and a lot of you guys prefer like me to put it on my cheeks, but like when I smile, I have a lot of fullness here. If you're losing fullness here, then yes, definitely apply it on the apples of your cheeks. But for me, I tend to get a little hollow here, and I just feel like I wanna lift versus bringing out the cheeks. It's not my favorite area on my face, is my cheeks. So I want to kind of add a little more lift here so it balances out my fullness here, if that makes sense, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 colors because I want to show you how you can mix cream blushes. If you haven't used a cream blush, oh my gosh, please do. It's amazing. And there's a lot of good cream blushes out there. But you're going to go from the edge of your eye, if you want a lifted look, and make 2 dots like this, okay? Just like that. And I'm gonna use 2 colors, like I said. So I'm gonna do that on both sides first. And my contour is, just in reference, my contour is right here. So I'm right above my contour. Now, one thing about cream, hi Wit, one thing about cream and picking a blush with maturing skin is that you wanna go a little bit brighter. I know that's scary, but that's what you wanna do because we already are kind of getting more dull. And when we age, one thing that I notice we do is we pick a very nude color or a very light color for our skin. I'm adding just another color in between those while I talk. But what happens is you're just dulling your skin. So going a little brighter, even though it might seem scary, just try it for me and report back, but it makes a huge difference on how youthful your skin looks. Think about when you were a little girl, right? If someone was like pinching your cheeks or you were like flushed from running, you have this beautiful natural pinky color to your skin. And so we wanna bring that back. We wanna mimic that look with blush, okay? So I'm gonna go in with my brush and I'm just going to blend this out. And I want you to just see how pretty. It looked scary, right? But look how pretty. I like to actually bring it up above. Look how that just adds color back to the face. I'm good, how are you? All right, I'm gonna bring that up. Now I'm keeping that off because for me, I still am applying it, let me say it like this. I'm still applying it on the fuller part of my cheek, but I'm leaving right here alone. I have texture there, I want that bright and light, so I'm not gonna bring it really past the middle of my eye. I wanna keep it kind of lifted. Now, if you really wanna lift it, don't go past here. I'm just showing you how you can kind of do like a hybrid of the 2 to get fullness and lift, but like so pretty. Cream blush brings out such a hydrating look, and I'm kind of losing my light, so I'm trying to hurry because I want you to be able to see it. You can also use it on your lips. This one's glossy. And this is Black Cherry. People are scared of this one. It's pretty. Isn't that pretty? It just brings a really good look. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna brush my brows up. This is just the Monat brow wax. Seint has a brow wax you can also use. I'm just gonna do this really fast. My eyebrows finally, I just got them microbladed not very long ago, and they're finally healing, so I can actually touch them again. I'm gonna post it. So the video's not been posted yet, but once it's posted, you can watch the whole video. And then if you guys are interested in trying this makeup, all you have to do is comment match when I post it, and you can fill out my color match form. I can help you and I make recommendations. I'm just not doing an eyeshadow look today, but I am gonna use my MAC Paint Pot to kind of just even out my eye. This is a big tip, you guys. If you have discoloration on the eyes and you're not like putting on an eye primer, or you're not getting like the discoloration to kind of look more evened out, that actually makes your face look a little bit more aged. If you can see the difference here, I literally just put a primer on and look how much more awake that made my eye. And so that's just another little tip. Don't skip an eye primer. This is the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I love this one. It's one of my favorites, the way it goes out. Now it does dry out pretty fast, so you just have to make sure you keep your lid on that. And then I'm just gonna quickly curl my eyelashes. And like I said, if I was not talking and explaining everything, we'd get this done in 3 minutes. It's really fast because I'm not searching all over the place for my makeup. I'm literally just have it all in one place, but because we're doing placement today, it just takes a little more time. And so that's why this video is a little longer. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask them here, or when I post this, you can ask me anything. That's what I'm here for. I want to make makeup fun and easy again, because a lot of us just give up as we get older because we just feel like, what's the point? And I think actually as you get older, it's more fun to start playing again with your makeup and trying new things, because a lot of us fall into a pattern of using the same makeup and same techniques, and we just get bored with it, or we think, I don't like how makeup looks on our face anymore. But the more you play with it, the more you try new things, you're gonna start falling in love with makeup, but you're also gonna fall in love with your face again. And I think that's one of the things that's really big as we age, is to fall in love with our face again. Our face has changed, it looks different, but we can still love, what is in my hair? But we can still love, who we are. And I think it's not about what you look like, it's about inside beauty. And the more I have got something in my hair as I'm talking to you, the more you just start playing. I think I got mascara in my hair. See you guys, hot mess over here all the time. But the more that you just take time to play and really like looking at your features and how they've changed, and then playing with like, maybe you like something different about your face now that you didn't before, there's like, I don't know, I've just come to appreciate aging so much, because it just is giving me appreciation of beauty is not an outside thing, it's an inside job. And I say that all the time, but it really is. And the more you love yourself, the more you look at yourself and you appreciate all those fine lines, those wrinkles, they tell our story and they make us into the person we are today. So, all right, I hope you guys had a wonderful time hanging out with me. I hope you learned something. Tell me in the comments when I do post this what you learned, if you learned anything. And if you want a free color match for your own palette, all you have to do is comment match when I post this. I just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I love just being around you guys. You guys make me a better person too. So, all right, have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.